Welcome back, everybody. Rodrigo here with Vesta Property Management. Today we're going to talk about how to make sure your listing stands out for the right reasons and not for the wrong reasons. Oftentimes when I'm looking at comparable properties and I'm trying to get a feel for what a property is going to rent for, I look at a lot of other listings. The most common problem I see with other listings is the terrible photography that they have with them. For some reason, it seems to be commonplace or acceptable that a rental property listing has bad pictures or insufficient pictures, and for whatever reason, it's not prioritized. Price probably has something to do with that because, professional pictures aren't cheap, but they are valuable. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that today. I'm joined today by Brandon Roberts, who is New Block Photography here in the Asheville area. Really excited to dig into it. He does all of our pictures. And like most of us, he's not native to Asheville. So Brandon, welcome to the show. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, anytime. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, absolutely. So as I mentioned, you're not from Asheville.
I'm not.
And yes, you are amazing at taking pictures, but we'll talk about that in a second.
Okay.
Where's home for you? How'd you end up here? Why did you decide to make Asheville home?
I'm originally from far west Maryland, right on the West Virginia line, still in the mountains, just like this.
Yeah.
It's from resort town, Deep Creek Lake area. A lot of people have heard of it from Pittsburgh or West Virginia or even Eastern Maryland. There's not a lot going on there. I had a friend who lives in Asheville, or did. He's moved since.
Yeah.
But he invited us down. Love the vibe of the city. Love the mountains. The food culture is amazing. The music's amazing. And they had an opening at the hospital here. My wife's a nurse, so she was able to get right in. And so that's kind of it. And we've kind of fallen more and more in love with the area and the people.
I always say Asheville's sticky. When I first moved here in 2009, I was like, I'm going to be here for like maybe a year or two at most. And it's been a long minute. I know this is not what we were talking about, but everybody's wondering, how is it like at the hospital? Hospital has a lot of swirling rumors and conversations. Do you want to chime in on that? Do you want to stoke the fires?
I don't want to stoke any fires, but my wife actually went to mission after HC took over.
Okay.
So she didn't really know what it was like, before they were for profit. She also works night shift in the OR from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. on the weekends. So she's not really involved in any of the politics or anything like that. She's there to help save lives, and that's what she's focused on.
That is a great answer. What did you do before pictures? Or how did you get into pictures? This is a good segue.
Well, I've probably lived in about 17 homes in my life.
Wow.
From childhood up till now. A lot of it was before I was 10 years old. So being in homes, different homes, looking for homes has always been a part of my life before I was a photographer.
Yeah.
And photography, I guess, ties in. I've not really been a professional photographer my entire life, but it's always been important. I was always the friend who's got the camera, the memories from, 15 years ago. We do a lot of traveling internationally and vacations, and I love to have memories. Yeah. So it's like, I'm tired of working, for somebody else, a 9-to-5 sort of job. How can I combine what I love and what I know and make money, make my own time? Yeah. And that's kind of what I led into. So like I said, moving around a lot, traveling, we're always looking at Airbnbs. We're looking at rentals. Yeah. We're hopping around houses, and the photos drive me nuts. Really.
You're me both. Yes.
Yes, like bad bathroom shots, bad angles, bad lighting, clutter.
Why is it so fuzzy?
And it's like, this will sell a home. I have skipped on so many rentals, so many Airbnbs, because they didn't focus on quality of photos at all. Yeah. I mean, and I was like, I can beat that. Way better than that with minimal to no effort. It's like, but once you put effort into it, it becomes almost an art. So
100%. I mean, I think the one thing that I feel like for pictures that's important when it comes to real estate is, are you able to capture like the essence or the character of a house? And I think that that's not always doable, but when it's done, and I feel like you do have a knack for it, which is obviously why we've continued to work together, is because there is something, if you can get the vibe of a house through pictures, that's a good way to either fall in love with it or move on. And both of those are equally important. You don't want somebody who's tire kicking looking at your house.
Right.
How do you do that?
I think, an emotional person in general. I was raised by a wonderful therapist mom, and that's kind of baked into me. And if you can capture emotion in a property, in using lighting, using composition, I think that sells a home or rents a home is making sure somebody feels the emotion behind it, making sure they imagine themselves in the living room with that light shining. So if you can take those features, light or just whatever it might be, whatever if I look at a room and I go, oh, I can feel this in my gut. I'm not just doing, all right, angle. Yes, there's a part to that. Make sure you get your angles right and stuff like that, your composition. But also don't do it without heart.
Is that something that you have to figure out? Or is it something that you kind of had in you because you started down this path, because it was a hobby, it was an artistic expression to a certain degree?
I think it's both. I think it's definitely a leg up if you have that thought process behind it. It can definitely be learned. Like we were talking earlier, I've been training somebody, to shoot real estate as well, which has been a lot of fun. And, something that I'm adding is doing some training. But yeah, I think it can be both. It's definitely helpful if you put your heart into it too.
Most things, if you put your heart into it, it's a good thing overall, typically. So you got here in Asheville, you started doing pictures right away, or is the pictures with real estate specifically happen something that like in Asheville, or were you doing that ahead?
I have been doing it lightly before. I actually worked for a vacation rental property company up in Western Maryland, and I was just doing maintenance, doing it there. And then I was like, that's kind of when I got into this side hustle situation, and I came across real estate photography as a side hustle. And working for that company, I had access to hundreds of homes that had poor quality photos. And so I asked the GM, and I was like, hey, do you mind if I practice on these homes? And obviously I would give you the photos. So I started up there, and then we moved down to Asheville. I was like, I can really kind of do this. I can do this. So that was a good playing ground for practice. I moved down here. I was in customer service for a cell phone company for a long time, for like 8 years. And I actually moved down here, and I stayed with that company while growing my business.
Nice. It's good way to do it.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're here.
I'm glad I'm here too.
So let's talk about this a little bit. I think that with how good cell phone imagery is today, it seems like it's natural, and I'm sure there's a way to take very high quality pictures with a phone. I'm coming from a perspective that doesn't know anything about photography, but is it fair to say, or am I thinking about it the right way, that you can get comparable quality off of like a good iPhone as what you're doing? It just takes higher effort and maybe higher skill to milk it out of an iPhone? Or is it easier with a good camera? I don't know if that question makes sense, but how much does the gear that you're using impact the quality of the pictures? Or is it almost like a level playing field and it's the user that makes the most difference now?
The gear makes a difference. And it's more the style. So most of the time with real estate photography, you're not just doing a single shot. You're doing what's called bracketed photos. You're doing a very bright one, a very dark one, and a middle one. There's also people who use flash, which helps with lighting. Cell phones, you can do a great job. You just have to know your angles, make your verticals straight up and down, shoot from corner to corner. And again,
would you use a tripod no matter what? And do you keep it
I always use
same level across the house, or
no? Actually no. So
then what's the point of the tripod? I have to know.
Because of the bracketed photos. So if let's say it's doing 3 shots, bing, bing, bing. If you are doing handheld, you can't keep it completely still.
That's fair. Okay.
You want it on a tripod, and it does the 3 shots or 5 shots, however many.
You tell it to.
Yes, you tell it to. The height. For most of the house, you could do about chest level. Kitchens, you want to be a little bit higher because a lot of times you don't want to see the underneath of the cabinets. It looks unfinished and unprofessional. Bathrooms.
Tips and tricks, folks.
Tips and tricks. Still hire me. But just kidding. In bathrooms, you want to be a little bit lower, just above the sink level. Other tips, get rid of garbage cans, get rid of toilet paper, declutter. If you've got soap that's not a very nice looking soap, I mean, if it's like,
get rid of the soap.
Get rid of any clutter that you can. Get rid of personal things, photos of your family, things like that. Really clean it up, get your angles, get your heights correct. If you're doing it with your cell phone, still pay attention to that stuff. But I think it's pretty noticeable between hiring a professional photographer and doing your own. Although you can do a good job both ways.
What's the case, or do you know any professional photographers that use cell phones?
No, I don't know any professional photographers that use their cell phones.
I don't know if there's like a thing,
If there is a professional photographer using their cell phone, I don't really associate it.
No, hard line.
Hard line.
Wow. Okay, so that is off the deep end. Well, now you know, if you take pictures with your cell phone and you charge for them, don't talk to Brandon. He won't talk to you back. No. I get what you're saying though, but it would be hard to say you're professional and use your phone, I guess is what you're saying. Like, you would be like, I have questions.
And sadly, a lot of it's about looks. So if you show up with a realtor and you've got your cell phone, they're probably already not going to hire you again. But if you're a homeowner and you don't want to hire a photographer, you can get by with your cell phone.
What's the biggest jump from cell phone to intentional camera? Like, where do you notice that difference? Where do you feel that difference?
I guess a lot of the lighting, the windows a lot of the time. So in professional state, the windows will be well exposed so you can see outside. With a cell phone, you're going to get a lot of windows that are blown out, very bright.
You can't really see outside.
Because that's where the bracketing comes into play. Because the very dark exposure that you take, the room, if you look at the raw files, the room will look very dark, but the outside will be well exposed. Gotcha. And in the edit, you combine those.
Oh, and so you overlay them essentially?
Yes, you overlay them. You cut the windows out of the very dark photo that are well exposed, put them into the well exposed photo, combine them.
Gotcha.
So you'll notice that might be the biggest thing.
How do you decide how many pictures you're going to do for a house? Or does it just happen naturally? You just go in and do you ever know ahead of time?
I have a good idea. So if I'm told it's an 800 square foot studio, it's probably going to be 12 to 18 shots. You got your exterior, usually about 5 to 8 shots exterior, depends on the size. If it's 1,500 square feet, it's going to be somewhere around 26. Yeah. Something like that. I do, for a living room, usually about 4, maybe 5 shots. 4 from each corner, and then they've got something to focus on, like a fireplace, something like that. Kitchen, same thing. Maybe 3 to 4 shots. Primary bedroom, 3 shots. And all the exterior or the additional bedrooms, usually 2 shots. Right. So it just really depends, but on average, it's about 25 photos. Ish, right.
What's the most amount of photos that you've done?
When I first started, and this is also a rookie mistake, is overshooting. So
congrats. Over editing that you have.
Over editing, overshooting, and a lot of people. Let's say a shoot that would take 26 photos. I was taking 40, 50 photos. Way overkill.
Like almost 2x.
Yes, and it's not necessary. Not only is it editing time, or the cost if you outsource your editing goes way up. Yeah, with that it's unnecessary, and it's also couldn't be annoying to somebody looking for a home or a renter, clicking, unnecessary shots.
Can I get to the kitchen already?
Exactly that. So be efficient.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I assume you want it to be an enjoyable experience when you're looking through the pictures. And
yes, and you want
too many, then it's hard.
Right.
With all of the different moving pieces with like drones and stuff that's coming out, how often are you using drones? Does it ever make sense to use drones for a rental listing? Do you ever use them for like doing those crazy videos inside of the house? Or, how does that play into what you do in your approach to pictures for rentals?
Drones, I use a lot of drone. Drone is good for if it's a house that's multiple stories and you want to get a dead-on shot.
Yeah.
Like I said earlier with the interior photography, you want to keep your vertical straight. You don't want to be pointing down or up. Don't tilt your phone up or down. And if you're shooting a tall home outside,
then you have to
either you can get back really far, which is not ideal, or to get a full shot, you may have to point up, which is not what I like to do. So I'll take the drone up, get a few level shots. A lot of homes around here, especially outside of downtown, will have some property or some amazing views of mountains. Those a lot of times are selling points for a rental or a purchase of a home.
Lean into the mountains.
Yes, lean into the mountains. That's a majority of why people move here, including myself.
Yeah, me too. That's why I haven't left. far south as you can go with good mountains.
Right.
When you're thinking about preparing a house, and like I'm sure that sometimes you're frustrated on some of the houses that I ask you to go out, you're like, this is not quite ready for pictures. Like, Rodrigo, what are we doing here? But and, you're obviously so gracious to work with us despite some of the chaos. But what would a quick thought process look like? What do you need to have in place to have your house show ready or picture ready, I guess?
So whenever I go into a house, the first thing I do is I'll go through, turn all the lights on.
Mm-hmm.
I will open all the blinds, depending on the blind. If it's a really nice luxury home and they've got awesome blinds that obviously they put a lot of money into, I'll maybe have them pretty much all the way open, but I want to see outside still. So depending on the home, I'll either open the blinds or I'll tilt them.
Yeah.
A rookie mistake is not having your faucets lined up. So like if you don't want your handles crazy or the faucet to the side. So I straighten all the faucets.
Goodness. Tips and tricks here.
There's a lot of stuff that goes into it. A lot of stuff that I didn't do when I started out and that really separated me from a professional photographer or an amateur photographer. So
just because you have the camera. It's not everything.
Right, exactly. So you got to know it. So blinds, lights, clean up clutter, like I said. You want to get trash cans out of the way, toilet paper out of the way, paper products, anything that just doesn't look clean, professional, and quality.
Do you do that yourself, or is that a typical, like, you ask whoever's pulling the trigger on the picture?
It depends. If I'm hired by Vesta, I do it myself. If it's a realtor, I will reach out to them, and sometimes I'll give them a pre-shoot checklist.
Okay.
And they'll, either pass that on to the homeowner, or realtors actually put a lot of time and effort into their. I hear a lot of people say that they notice the realtors aren't doing a lot, but I've noticed a lot that they do. Yeah. They're in there early, they're in there late, they're fixing stuff, and sometimes the homeowners aren't there or they're not on it. So it's up to the realtors to do that. But a lot of the times I'll go in and I'll take care of that stuff. Yeah,
I think it's an interesting when you think about pictures for rentals versus for like a listing. Just the payout's very different, even though I would say a lot of the emotions are the same, right? Like if you want to get your house rented or if you want your house to sell, you want those equally as bad.
Right.
It's just a very different, the dollars and cents are different. And I know that's something we struggled with when we first started doing pictures is you're not cheap. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean that in a good way.
I don't mean to be cheap.
But the value's there. And that's where I think that was like a learning thing for me when we first started working with clients and taking pictures is understanding the importance of there's a difference between showing off a house and getting a house visible. And I think moving into the let's show off the house is an important energy to have when it comes to showcasing a property, especially on the rental side, because that's going back to the vibe. Like I think that emotions matter, and on those rentals, I think a lot of people do a lot of window shopping. And so you have to stand out right away. Like we do the AI generated sunsets.
Right.
I think those make a big difference.
Yeah, they do.
We do the 3D tours as well.
Yes.
I think that that's a huge value add. Do you find that that's a normal request or thing, or is it a little bit of a abnormal thing in your experience when it comes to rentals?
No, there's a couple of rental companies that would like to have a 3D tour for each one. And as we've discussed at some point in the past, they really show the flow. The photos do a good job showing the space, the lighting, and evoking emotion almost.
Yeah.
Or a 3D tour, it's almost like you're there.
Yeah.
I know that 3D tour for me, before I was a photographer, got me into rentals.
Yeah.
It's really helpful for out of town, which I was. It's helpful, I think, for rental companies because you don't get as much foot traffic in and out of the house. It cuts back on your time on showings that are unnecessary. So I think they're very helpful for showing the flow of the house. And there's not a whole lot to hide behind. I think it really shows like as if you're in there.
Yeah.
Seeing everything. So it's honest.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think what we found, I feel like it gives confidence to the people or to a prospective tenant or resident that what they're seeing in the pictures is real.
Yeah.
Because I think that's a common frustration, right? If you show up to a house and you're like, wait a second, this is drastically different than what it looked like online. That's always going to be a letdown, even if you like the house.
It's frustrating.
Yeah.
I've had experiences myself before we moved here, driving. It's 8 hours almost from where I'm from. And we had driven here to look at a property. There was nothing that we we actually didn't have a very good experience finding them. The property was nothing like what we looked at. And the second one, the apartment agency, they didn't show up at all. So we drove 8 hours, waited outside, called, couldn't get in to look at the property.
Oh man!
And actually, what sold us was the 3D tour
of where you're at
on that one. Yeah, I'm not there anymore, but at the time we moved.
Because you were like, okay, fine, we've seen the outside, we trust what the inside looks like. Like, okay, we can make a decision here. Yeah, that's I think when you think about it, it's like, what are the points of friction in the journey of decision making, and how do you try to eliminate as much of that friction as possible? Good pictures, 3D tour, etc.
Floor plans as well.
Floor
very
plans.
helpful.
Yeah, I think I don't know if I've ever heard somebody ask for a plan, but I've definitely had feedback of people complaining that there aren't floor plans.
Yes,
and that is I don't think I've thought about that, but yeah, the floor plans are a big deal. Everybody wants to know if their stuff's going to fit in the house that they're moving into.
Right. And there's actually another company locally that they only hire me to do their floor plans. So I do that. That's the only thing I do for all.
Okay.
So
yeah, everybody's going to, I guess, have different needs or wants.
Absolutely.
Let's go back to the AI thing. Obviously, technology has been changing a lot. Feels like every couple of weeks there's a new advancement. Yeah. How are you using it, if at all, on the post-production side of things, or not at all? I don't know. Just do you mind?
I actually don't use it a lot. Really, the only AI that even with the virtual twilights, they're not AI.
Virtual twilights, AI. Yes. I don't know what I'm saying. Apparently,
no, that's okay. That's okay. Because
that's why you're here, though.
AI. I mean, it could do that. I outsource editing, which anybody who's doing any volume is doing that, because editing takes a lot of time, and I don't want to shoot all day long and then edit all night. I don't want time with my family. Yeah. So, the editors that I use will do virtual twilights. Okay. Basically, they'll take a daytime shot. And then they'll do their magic on it. Yeah. Basically, make the windows look like yellow tinted. They'll put in a sky that looks like a twilight or a sunset. But as far as AI, really the only AI that I do, because I do a lot of post editing. Once they do the bulk of it, I get it back, and I'll probably spend an hour or so in the house cleaning it up, using AI to get rid of wires, cords. I don't do any editing to the structure of the house, but stuff that can easily be moved by a person.
That hose is there.
Yes, the hose, the garbage can. If I forgot the garbage can, do a circle, and it uses an AI generation to get rid of the garbage can. So stuff like that. So pretty basic, minor stuff. I have played around with doing, and I think I pitched it to you one time and it didn't take off, but doing like a shot of the outside, and AI will make it look like a video. Oh, yeah. It's not super high quality, at least not yet. So I kind of dropped that. I don't really use it.
What as you're thinking about what's happening in the future with photography and listings and rentals in general, do you feel like there's anything changing, or do you think that this is going to be kind of a relatively bread and butter, consistent part of real estate in general? Or do you see technology advances changing or disrupting this side of things at all?
I'm part of a lot of different podcasts and stuff like that I watch that talk about the introduction of AI and whether it's dangerous to photographers or not. As of now, it doesn't seem to be an issue, because you still need a physical person to go in there and take shots of the house. Until whoever comes out with a robot, which they're working on. I mean, not specifically for real estate, but for general stuff. For anything, and I don't know how soon that is to where, Zillow, whoever's hiring a robot photographer to do their work. Yeah,
gets dropped off with the drone or something.
Right. So now I'm not super concerned with it. I mean, I think I appreciate what's going on, and I'm excited about the future, about whether it's AI or where it goes. I've always been pretty good at pivoting. Yeah. So I'm ready to take on whatever the future has.
You're comfortable betting on your knowledge base and your skill set then.
That's right.
Any closing thoughts for somebody who is going to take pictures this weekend for their house and they're going to post it themselves? What if you are going to use your own phone to post your own rental? What would that process look like? And what would you sure to do if you didn't have the professional side of things, and if this was your side hustle, like the rental?
So it would be good lighting.
Would you bring in lights?
If I was shooting with my phone?
Yeah. Like
probably
those
not,
cameras or something, or not the ring lights?
The ring lights, probably not. I would just make sure my lights are on my windows. And that's probably where I would be with it.
Okay.
Clean your clutter. Get rid of the junk everywhere. That really lowers the perceived value, I think. So lighting,
clutter,
wide angle, 16, 17 millimeters. The iPhones, they go to like 13. That's a little bit too wide. Bring it in just a little bit. And then keep in mind the height. A little bit lower in the bathroom.
And buy a tripod, right?
Buy a tripod.
They're like
so
$10.
$10.
Yeah.
I mean, it depends on what you use it. But yes, you can get one for $10.
Okay.
Something like that.
What's the worst thing you've seen in the Asheville market from a picture standpoint?
There was one that I shot downtown here that I was afraid to be in. I thought the floor was going to fall through. I was like, I don't know if this is a trap house or what's going on. But it was like, I couldn't believe it.
Was it listed for rent?
It was listed for sale.
Okay.
And I was
that makes a little bit more sense.
I guess that makes more sense, but I was afraid to be in.
Wow.
I was like, I'm going to get tetanus and I'm going to fall through this floor. So, there's some danger to the job as well with films like that. But it was a listing downtown that I shot. I was like, I cannot believe it. Some of these times.
But what about a rental? Do you remember, or is it just always bad pictures and just whatever that looks like is when you're just like, guys, what are we doing here?
Yes. When people take pictures of stuff that's unnecessary, like a dark corner that has like a cobweb and like a cord, I'm like, why is this?
Why is this in here?
What is this in here? This is next.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right, Brandon, where does somebody get a hold of you if they want to work with you?
Newblockphoto.com. Newblockphoto@gmail.com is my email. 240-321-5586 is my cell phone number. Call me directly. We'll set something up. I'm available. I'm ready to shoot, and I love doing it.
Heck yeah. Well, Brandon, appreciate it. Thank you for taking the time and dropping some tips and tricks. And for everybody else, thank you for tuning in. We'll see you on the next one. Take care, everybody.